can't believe you deny the fact. There are institutions, grants, funding, all of these organizations telling women, you can be a doctor, you can be a scientist. When's the last time you saw a straight white man in a commercial? It doesn't exist. All of the programming in this country is
I recognize that you're trying to go down the special snowflake route here, okay? But before we start playing victim,
he never left 2016.
There are still massive. Hold on. There are still massive amounts of white males on TV, okay? I'm pretty confident about that one. And so what it means to be a man, how men are expected to behave, has changed. It's different. Nowadays, boys are not encouraged to show emotion, but yet I point to the example of, yes, where it used to be chivalrous for men to weep. It was called chivalrous weeping. And that was a thing. That was a masculine trait. There can be biological consistencies across human history. I'm fine with that. I'm more interested in talking about what we can change. What can we do to make society better?
I have never heard nor witnessed anybody see a man crying at his father's funeral or at the birth of his child and being like, man up. That's like this sort of like...
You keep doing it. No one says that men shouldn't cry at their father's funeral, dude.
No, but what they do say, it is true.
Men want to express emotion by crying.
If a man is crying at like the ceremony you mentioned, the chivalrous ceremony, no one is going to turn an eye to that then. If you have men crying over things like, I'm like really nervous about this test. Yeah, okay, quit being a little... That's why stoicism is a virtue as a man. Being in control of your emotions to portray strength is, even if you are weak. No one's saying that weakness is a problem, but you have an obligation to those around you as a man to portray strength, even if that's not the case.
This is just wrong. You're doing it right now.
Also,
this idea that because you're a man, you have a responsibility to portray strength all the time.
That is true.
No, that is not true. And you're once again enforcing this idea. This is what leads to the repressing emotions, which has already been demonstrated to increase likelihood of committing suicide.
When men were held to the highest standards of how they were supposed to behave as men in the 1950s, they weren't themselves as often. They weren't as depressed as often. This is like a new invention for whatever reason.
Because a lot of the problems here is that some of these expectations are being almost accentuated. So we have social media, which is isolating people. We still have social expectations that you as a man have a responsibility to give off the impression that you're strong at all times. These things all compounded, yes, the economy, all of these issues compounded lead to more negative outcomes specifically for men. Okay. Even more so, hold on, they've done studies where they've literally shown that men are less likely to go to the doctor because they perceive that as being weak.